It's been said you were the youngest art director at Warner at the
Yeah,
time.
with that licensing company, yes, that division. And I was doing the T-shirts, so they were going all over America. They were in all these big department
That
stores.
must have felt good.
Yeah, well, it did, but I remember one day I was in one of the department stores and I saw a kid wearing the shirt that I did. And he's like running around and he ran and I said, "Hey, how you doing? I did that shirt." He goes, "No, you didn't. My mommy brought me this," and ran off. And I said, "Oh my God, they're gonna think I'm trying to rob or kidnap this kid."
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Well, we're halfway through, Steve,
Okay.
and I know we're not even close to describing your trajectory. So, you moved on to be a very young art director. You're working with some very iconic imagery that I grew up with. Even I mean, these characters have been around. Chuck Jones, I think, created.
Yes.
And you're working with like the Cadillac of animation. What's next? What happened next?
Well, after that, then one of the things that I went through while going through that, because when I do things for kids, I do encourage to go to school, even though for me it worked out because I didn't give up and I still studied a lot. You know, I was on top of that. It wasn't like it just, oh, he's talented. You have to also do a little bit of the studying and research and trial and errors. The biggest error is not to do that. Okay. So I always tell kids to, go.
So you went back and got your education, your formal education.
Well, I got hired, so my education became through me working and now getting the check. And so this was one of the issues I was having while at the job. My art director would be like, "I like this. Give me a 3-point lighting, and let's see what that looks like." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I'll go back to the other artist, and I'm like, "Hey, she says she wants a 3-point lighting. What is that?" And they go, "Oh, that's when the light's here, here, here." I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna give her the 4-point lighting. Watch this."
Shazam.
I just didn't know the terminology of certain things and what things were called, or even if they had names.
Right.
I just thought I was doing it because of the way I visually was looking at things, you know.
But maybe that naivete about not knowing all the terms kept you more pure in creation.
I think so, and I think also because you have mentioned how sometimes a kid that wants to do a certain type of art is learning something else that he's probably not interested in. You know, eventually that something else will tie into what you want to get into. However, for me, I didn't go through that time where I was learning things I didn't want to do, you know? So I think because I have multiple skills now and I bring them to a really good level, like I can keep up with agencies almost. And that's how the second hand came into the picture, okay?
Act 2.
Yeah, Act 2 is, so after I established a great career and I went from the Warner Brothers, I went to Disney licensing and I did stuff with the Pixar brand and Marvel, and I've changed from costume things to, I broke rules and I got corrected on it, and then it was like, wait a minute, that's kind of cool that you broke that, you know, and I inspired a lot of people and they inspired me, you know. So I started doing stuff for the public and people, anyone, because whether you're a big organization or just one person that wanted something painted of someone they loved or whatever it was, I'm more than happy because I believe blessings are given for you to be a blessing onto others.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Did that lead you to some more intimate friendships with other artists, let's say?
Yeah, just other people and humans. It just made me connect to a level where I started hearing things I didn't even believe, or not believe, but like, wow, these wonderful things people were saying about the art and about me, and I always felt like I had to give back. I had to do things for the kids. I had to be there at events, whether I made $1 or no dollars. It was my form of giving back, because I was that kid that was grateful that look how far I've gotten to without even having certain opportunities. You know,
that's a good payback or pay it forward, or I don't even know what they call it, but just good way to live.
Yeah, it's a blessing to. How could I? You know, that was the other thing. How could I deceive anyone with my blessing? Like, how could I not fulfill certain projects or do certain events, talk to certain kids or schools, or just share my story? So I did that. At the same time as I'm doing that, the workload became tremendous. And I'm like, I couldn't keep up with the workload. Even to this day, I can't keep up to the workload. And I'm over there trying to just get things done, and this hand is just dangling there doing nothing. I'm like,
here we go.
Get your ass up and like
do the
help
background
me.
or something.
Help! You're just dangling there, chilling, you know.
Uh-huh.
And that's what happened. I started just bringing it in, and
wow.
and it started doing forms and shapes. I've been asked this before. It's a different job for it to do. On the other hand, so I'm a left-handed artist where I do the detail with the left hand, but with the right hand, that's how I create the forms and the shapes, and I create gestures, and I create balance and perspectives. Yeah, it enhances. Then when it comes to the detail, it comes back to my left hand.
Gotcha.
And then eventually I started doing some detail with it, you know, just to, if the artwork is in that angle, instead of just going like this, I'll just let the hand
help it out.
Yeah, help it out. And then, and sometimes there's it's not like, then I have to come in and tighten it up if I have to do that. But I am using both hands as I design now, you know. And now I don't even think, because that's the other thing. If I think about what I'm doing with the other hand, it just doesn't happen. It just like something.
And that technique, unless people get to know you and get to experience a friendship or a kidship to your style, and they don't know this. They don't know that you're using two hands.
No, they don't. Even sometimes, I don't.
That's funny.
I just know that things are a little better now, but I'm not going to try to draw with my feet. I'm not doing that. So we're not going to be seeing that. Plus, you don't want to see my feet. So
that's funny.
But now I'm developing product, and I'm making. That's the next area of my career. Is heading towards making product and having my license. Behind me is one of the first licenses that it's already been over Canada and a few other places, and now it's going to be hitting New York for the next year. Really hard.
I mean, I'm sorry if I keep gazing behind you, because it's very eye arresting. Mm-hmm. Like there's so much happening, and so much story and so much detail to the shoelaces, to the rings, to the reflections. I mean, it's just,
even like the guy that's breakdancing, he's all twisted up because that's the impression you get.
The guy in the lead jeans. The other. Okay.
In the lead jeans, and if you look, there's a part on his elbow. He's got a Band-Aid, and you know, it's just
some loose change coming out of his back pocket.
You know, it's like he's truly in that movement, and so it's a little bit of every part of the hip hop culture, because this year coming up is going to be the 50th anniversary of hip hop. So there's
a museum being created. If I'm not mistaken, it's open.
Yes, I believe it's open, and I know all the amazing people that have made that museum exist, and I can't wait to have some of my artwork in there. So,
As an artist, Steve, do you have kind of a routine to get started, or is there a certain kind of ritual that you just, I'm going to just paint today, or I'm going to draw today? No, you have to probably have some kind of structure, don't you?
Yeah, the biggest structure is how I'm feeling.
So you're feeling good.
I feel good, then let's do this.
The bills are paid, there's food in the fridge, now it's time, you know.
Yeah, it starts like that. Especially my cast tunes. The cast tunes are all, they were on a commute to my job when I was with Warner Brothers, or it was on some type of commute to another project. Those happen, I never know what is going to come out of those. The cast tunes come from the heart, and I have many of them. For many years I've not shown the world yet, and I'm excited to be able to show the world this, because it truly says it's a story.
That's the answer to what's coming up next, I would assume, right? That's what's coming up next?
That's what's coming up next, yes.
All right, cast tunes, be on the
lookout.
Yeah. I feel very honored to hear about this announcement, but you'll know when and where and how to release such excitement. Speaking about excitement, is there a favorite movie or book that you always kind of refer yourself to or think about, or say, oh man, what would so-and-so do, or what?
Right. Yeah. Well, when I was a kid, there was this gigantic book. It was red. It was called the art of animation for Disney, and it showed some of the old style, the way they animated traditionally, but looking at the line work and the way the characters are formed and the way the fabrics, that book for me as a kid truly did so much for me, because it let me move it in my mind, and that became an issue because at the time I didn't have this programs or
There was no internet.
yeah, there was like
The library's not going to have that book.
yeah, but I had that book, and I was that book, I ate it up. I'm talking about like every letter, every page, I would just stay mesmerized in it.